it up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you. It is Friday. Thank goodness for that. The 15th of November. I'm Tisha Hines. Great to have you join us for another Morning Barbados presentation. Of course, I have to say Happy Independence, Barbados. We are happy to celebrate throughout the entire month of November. And today will be no different. You might see a little change for those of you looking to spruce up. We're still trying to straddle independence with a little bit of Christmas for those of us who love Christmas. So involving a little bit of the colors of Christmas. You know how that goes. But I'm not trying to preempt November. I'm not trying to preempt our 3rd anniversary of being a republic or our 58th anniversary. That is certainly pending, coming up this month, the 30th of November. So speaking of the 30th of November, we're going to be telling you about some more of the activities that will be happening in recognition of the centenary year of the late Shirley Chisholm. Here in Barbados, we're celebrating her. She would have been 100 years old on the 30th of November this year. So we have embarked on so many celebratory initiatives to mark this occasion that involve her family, the school that is named for her, the Shirley Chisholm Primary School over in Vauxhall. And of course, there is a genealogy marketplace that is coming up in her honor in a couple of days as well. So we'll tell you more about that. But we wanted to start today by talking about cybersecurity. After all, we've been hearing so much about cybersecurity, and for many of us, we don't know what that means because the frequency and sophistication that goes behind cybersecurity attacks these days, or threats, it most certainly has escalated dramatically. And Barbados is not exempt. It's happening all across the world. Just this week, we reported that many U.S. government offices and departments have been hacked, numerous large organizations, and even big tech organizations have been hacked or have had some credible threats that have been posed to them. So what does this mean for us, for the average Barbadian? We heard a few weeks ago that the BRA had an incident. And more recently, we heard about the statistical department having an incident. What does this mean? I remember years ago when I first started banking online, I went to use my card, couldn't use it. And when I went into the bank, they said there was an incident. And nobody could give me the details of the incident until I pressed a little harder. So we really need to delve in so that we're on top of what's happening and we can move to secure ourselves and our data and put things in place so that we are not severely impacted if that is a possibility. Edward Millington is no stranger to Morning Barbados. He's Principal Security Consultant, the founder and managing director of Carrie C Global Inc. So we've invited a friend to the show, Edward Millington, to come in again this morning. Let's have a candid chat about cybersecurity and all that goes along with that. Morning to you, Edward.
Good morning
to have
to you, Tisha. Good morning.
All right, so, let's start at the very beginning because I want to assume that there are many people who don't understand what this means. Traditionally, if someone broke into a bank, you would hear about a bank robbery. If they showed up and with a gun or whatever and took some money, that's one thing. You go into someone's house and you take something else. Then you have to decide what they took.
Right.
Now, in the advent of the digital age, which is where we are, people can steal your data, your money, your things, your information, all by just logging on to your system. So it all depends on how you're securing self and property and information that you're sharing online.
Right. Well, the digital artifacts, as we really call it, or digital property, is something that all of us in this age has, in the UK, it really started with the idea called twin cities. You have the digital portion, and you also have the physical portion. And we tend to put more checks and balances on the physical portion, but the network portion, or the digital portion as we call it, is still maturing in how we protect that data. But what we have here, especially in the Caribbean, is a cultural issue, how we see our privacy, what that data looks like, and so forth. And while you have those incidences still happening overseas, the fact is that they are reported very quickly. Sometimes they're very transparent, and other times they're not. But for the region itself, we are still trying to get grips of incidences and breaches, how to report it, how transparent you're going to be, is it going to be reputational damage, and so forth. I think within the region, the reputational damage to the organization sometimes is so great that you don't hear much about it. And unlike overseas, where when the following is going on, you can read and see exactly what happens. The lack of transparency in the Caribbean prevents us from able to do more to keep us private. It's just like someone breaking a house. If one hasn't highlighted to you how safe your windows are and doors and so forth, you think that everything is good. But the thief know which door or which lock has a particular issue, just push and pull a couple of times and then, unlock. Those are the type of information that we need now within the digital realm.
For sure. Like I mentioned in the story that I told about losing access to my card, and it was a debit card. It wasn't a credit card. So I'm thinking, okay, now this is my money. You locked it off and never said anything. So there was no communication from the bank that anything had happened. And then I went in and they were just willing to say it was an incident. I had to escalate to the point of asking to see a manager for them to tell me that there was some type of device that was placed on an ATM. And so there was some level of skimming that was going on. This lack of transparency, why do you think is so difficult for officials to share what is actually happening so we can indeed protect ourselves? Because one of the things I said is, if it is something that I have done, if you don't tell me, how will I know to not do it again to prevent this recurring?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and I don't think I would be able to answer that. Why I'm saying it like that is that in this day and age where breaches are almost standard all throughout the world, regardless if it could be military. Recently, the Hungarian military, the procurement was compromised. Governments around the world. So I'm still finding it, still interesting why. I think the reputational damage or what people think about an organization these days plays a key role of that transparency. And not only that, sometimes what we call the incident, the whole process is not very well developed. So they may be able to pick it up, have internal discussions, but you or us as the client now still find it very strange, like what is going on, why you can't see this, because we know we can travel any part around the world, and those scamming devices are there. So it's nothing new. But I think I think for businesses, it might show up that they're not doing enough, and they don't want that type of awareness.
So let's talk about the types of malicious activities that are going on. As some of the most popular ones. We've most certainly heard of ransomware, and these days data breaches a whole lot more. So kind of break them down for us, and let's talk about where we can be involved without even putting our information online.
Well, the ransomware, depending on its automation, with the advent of AI now, you're now able to, if one think about, we use a term called scraping. Before you would scrape the internet, go on your Facebook, linking all the media channels and be able to craft those special emails. But now with the breaches that have been occurring, the data is now there. They don't need to scrape much. You're now able to craft special emails, and ransomware can come in the form of a PDF file, a Word file, simple link within the email itself. And I certain if you're a shipping company or a company that custom working with documents for clients, every time you click on a document could possibly be ransomware. From that advent or outside of ransomware, many of us are aware on the call of credential theft, where a link is sent to you. It looks like a legitimate Hotmail website, Yahoo or Microsoft, and you go to logging, but nothing happens. And that person will have your credentials now to to compromise your account, or they can issue, like recently I've been told, someone have actually lost their LinkedIn account. They forgot to turn, or they didn't have time to turn on their multi-factor authentication, and their account was taken over. They're now given access to all your personal information that you can now attack your friends. So once that person gets into the organization by clicking on a document, the process starts from there. It can harvest all the information and then encrypt that information, which means then majority of the time your systems go down and then you have to recover. So it's a very long, tedious process to sometimes to discover ransomware, but the only time the ransomware is known is when the person realizes that they don't have access to the files anymore, and that is when it's too late.
All right, how can we avert some of this from IT departments or ICT departments all the way through to average employees? You know, how can we get around being victims of ransomware?
Right. Well, one of the main things is what you call the CEO or the C-suite, or those who run the organization, the boards, and etc., to understand that this is a risk, and it will come at some point. What we are talking about these days is how much you will be affected. What is the impact? So, in essence, IT have to be fully trained, along with training programs for the average users like ourselves, to be able to go through those scenarios with the different, what we call vectors, or the different devices we use, or digital channels, which is like WhatsApp on your phones in general, emails, links. Again, you also have those attacks come through from ads that you watch online. And from that process, you really want to have the awareness, the necessary tools, the antivirus, or what we call in the medium and enterprise, there's EDR tools, which is what's called now endpoint detection and response, where you're able to stop some of these threats in the track. And then there are other tools to help alleviate that. But I think that the overall picture, businesses have to look at operational resilience, which is very key, because our economy depends on our businesses running, hospital, government itself. If you don't prepare for that, then you have that loss, and then you have, data protection and other fines that might, depending on which industry you're in, like the banks and so forth, they have those fines coming from other regulatory agencies.
Delve a little deeper into operational resilience.
Right. So operational resilience, what we're looking at is that in the event of any threat to your organization, you must be able to still operate. So you're going to prepare, so it include business continuity, but also include mechanisms within digital resilience to make sure that, like even here, if a camera goes down, you have a backup camera. If a person has any particular issues, they will be able to, someone able to take over from them, or something able to automatically respond and take over that process. You have cyber resilience, change management, helps within that process, and crisis management. So like what we were talking earlier, what is happening there? Sometimes we don't have enough crisis management, change management, and even general communication, that in an event that something like this happen, that person could then communicate. So with the operational resilience, what we are trying to achieve, that in the event of any disaster, we are able to operate on whatever it takes to provide that service, or a minimum service to our client.
And for people who don't know, it's by title ransomware, because the perpetrators, wherever they are across the world, they don't have to necessarily be in your country.
Correct.
Or anywhere close to you. What they usually do is seize your information, take over the operation, and ask you to pay some type of ransom.
Correct.
To give it back to you, which
Right.
it seems absolutely crazy.
Not really.
Yeah. Right.
It's like someone steal your car and you love your car so much
But
that you want it
don't
back.
you kind of preempt that if you have that redundancy in place that you talked about, if you're doing constant backups and so on, and you can restore your information to a close proximity, as close as possible,
Right.
maybe not the same day it's done,
Right.
Doesn't that kind of avert people being able to say, pay me ransom for all of this information that I've had for all this time?
Well, there's a two-pronged process. There's instances where ransom, where the information is encrypted, and then there are other cases where the information is not encrypted, but you're asked to pay whatever money. Otherwise, if they release it, then fines, regulatory authorities then come for you, which can sometimes be maybe even more, etc., and especially reputation damages. But there are processes and solutions and so forth that help you to do instant recovery. So depending on Businesses also need to move into the new age too. Back in the days, we still do backup and recovery in terms of tapes and so forth. But what we're looking at is that instant recovery. And not only instant recovery in the event that the perpetrator does not encrypt your information, but steal it or exfiltrate it, as we call it, we want to make sure that information that's being operated on that system is already encrypted. So there are tools like that we're sharing files, we're working within an organization, and we have access to that information, but it's encrypted. If we move that information, like ourselves, out of the organization, it doesn't work. So businesses need to move to that next level. So in terms of their operational resilience program that looks at all of these different types of risks, it means then that not only operational resilience is still there or being able to operate, the fact is that you're protecting confidential information, not only to the clients, but remember your intellectual property. Yeah.
All right, so when we come back, I'm going to shoot some buzzwords that we often hear relating to cybersecurity at Edward and see what he comes back to us in a session where we try to get in as much information as we can in the next segment. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. 6:20 in the land, right here in beautiful Bin. In this month of our independence, we're sitting in with Edward Millington, Principal Security Consultant, founder and managing director of Carry C Global Inc. And of course, he is on top of things when it comes to cybersecurity. There are a number of buzzwords and phrases, and I'm sure you have lots of questions. So I'm just going to throw some buzzwords and phrases and hot topics at you. Before we do that, though, what are some of the emerging trends that you're seeing in cybersecurity or ransomware threats, or just malicious online threats generally?
Well, the heavy use of AI, putting a lot of personal information into AI, that is really becoming, especially free AI, becoming really an emerging risk. And the drive to go to the market very quick, where budgets are normally put to go to market very quick, but security does not take priority. So therefore you have misconfigurations or not enough protection into solutions, whatever it is. It could be HR solutions, whatever it is. And that then cause breaches. Again, personal information out there causing risks to us, as we call data subjects.
What can be the impact on regular people when it comes to these recent threats we've been hearing about, data breaches and the like?
Fraud is the main thing, and the ability to use us to get into a company or to get to another connection within our network itself. But mainly fraud and spam coming towards us and so forth, yeah.
Preventative measures?
Preventive measures, you're really looking at antivirus software, awareness training for persons, go through that detailed training itself. There's necessary awareness when it comes to especially operating your business for the general person, looking out for emails, those calls that come to you over the phone, anything that pop up on your bank account, etc.
As far as emails and protecting your personal data is concerned, I know a lot of people talk about the two-step authentication. How important is that?
Very important, very important. A lot of the accounts that's being taken over to there, two-factor authentication is not turned on. So we are encouraging persons to go and look for those settings. And if you are using a service that does not have it, try to minimize what personal information you have on those platforms.
How important is incident response planning?
Very, very important. The ability to know what to respond to, how to respond to it, the persons that's going to be involved in it, how to communicate that response or that incident to the public itself. You know, it is very important, and we also encourage persons to seek advisory or seek consultation on that.
And I think a lot of us really don't know about the regulatory framework around it. It's still being built up all around the world, so it's very new, particularly with AI,
Right.
and the like. But you know, what can businesses do,
Right.
to kind of become au fait with what regulatory framework there is, or to make sure that they're in compliance?
Well, in the cybersecurity or information security world, what we have is a lot of ISO standards, and we have, everybody knows about the 27001. We also know about the NIST cybersecurity framework. So a lot of those are standards that helps you to understand the risks to your business itself, and so that you can start preparing. So when regulatory frameworks come into play from regulators, etc., you will already be in compliance, because a lot of these regulations are based on those actual standards themselves.
Do we have any data on how many Barbadian businesses are in step with ISO standards or have been accredited to ISO standards?
Well, accreditation might be easy because those things are normally sometimes listed. You can get a listing, but no, there's not a listing. Just like how we have the threat intelligence, we don't have a listing or a posture of businesses within Barbados or within the region. And I think that's where we need to go. We need to look at, see what Europe is doing with a lot of their acts and laws, and say, you know what, we need to protect our persons before it gets very damaging for us. We don't want to travel, and then we were told that we commit a crime in another country, and we know nothing about it. And that is where it can possibly go. It has happened already. It continues to happen. But again, we have to be aware of things like that there. Yeah.
Now, I know some years ago, government was offering, there were incentives for companies becoming ISO accredited, but we know also that the accreditation means that you have to do frequent third-party audits as well as international audits. Are these things happening?
They still happen, if I understand your question correctly. But I don't know. The only companies that you could possibly see going that direction, the banks, it's very expensive to work tremendously to attain this accreditation. The whole in other words, it's like a business going public. You have to put so many processes in place, roles, and so forth, that if you don't adhere to the requirements of that particular standard, you're going to lose it, which means then that you have to go back and follow again. So it is very expensive, but what we would say to businesses, try to follow a particular program and just being compliant to at least one of them. That would help minimize their risk, improve your reputation, and therefore highlights that, you know, you have digital trust in order.
As a cybersecurity expert, a cybersecurity having cybersecurity as, you know, your mainstay, what would you say is the outlook for us in the coming years?
If we don't do much right now, it's not looking very good. They reach a point where you have that runoff effect, and what I mean by that, there's all of our information is already out there already. So it means then that we can be targeted, especially for individuals, not businesses. To some point, we can be targeted for many years to come. So therefore, we have to start now. We have to start with the awareness. We have to set up our certs and ANSI certs and so forth. We have to get on that program. If we want business within the region, digital trust is going to be very important, because it stops external stakeholders from trusting organizations to have their information.
And how can business leaders effectively prioritize these threats that we're looking at across different platforms and with varied types of information, whether personal information about your internal publics, your employees,
Right.
The external publics whom you serve, your customers, your suppliers? You know, how can you effectively prioritize what needs to be done to secure all the publics whom you serve?
Right. That is, I think, a threefold question. One, I think boards, CEOs, etc., need to understand risk, whatever that risk would be. Just general risks right? Once they can start from that there, understand that the risks that they face within the business operating environment. Number two, they also have to look at the fact of having the necessary roles and responsibility on board to understand that risk and act on that particular risk. And then number three, due to that level of awareness, you know, have the training and you now have the monitoring and the continuing programs being put in place. But it must start with the head. If you do not understand the risk in your own house of a weak door, are you going to treat it with any respect? Or if you don't know about fear, how can you respond to it? So our main drive is to get that awareness at the highest level. And based on that awareness, you're going to see that change, that cultural change throughout the organization itself.
All right. Now, if we can't effect that change, we have to move to secure ourselves as much
That
as
is
we can.
correct.
So let's step back to personal security. How safe is it to go with, for example, there are many phones that are offering facial recognition software these days. How safe is it to go with things like that?
I don't use it.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah, but the problem with is that these phones can be compromised. So while yes, a lot of these things are stored on encrypted part modules, as they call it, on the phone, the fact is that everything has a vulnerability. And the fact is that a lot of these times these phones are not transparent in what they're doing every single moment as it sits down here. I can bet you that it's monitoring that I'm actually standing still. Most probably it's monitoring my speech, but it's not saying anything. So therefore, we have to be very careful of what we are using and putting out there, because
Absolutely.
it can be exploited.
Yeah,
and
I've
we don't want
recognized that. There have been instances where I've had conversations, and then once I get online, I see that there are, specific business ads that are targeted to specifically what I was talking about. So I know that exists.
And it's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You were told it's not supposed to happen, but we find it very strange that in conversation, we could go and search, and what we're talking about is right there.
Yeah, the EU has been really fighting the big tech companies
Yes.
for stealing data in that
Yes,
way.
yeah, correct.
Quite recently, as late as today, there's an article that went out about $870 million being fined to Meta
Right.
for that express purpose. Your thoughts on automatically generated passwords? If you start a new email address, for example, they would suggest a password to use. Your thoughts on using them?
I think it's pretty good. The problem is that when we use a common share password or common shares password, we tend to remember. The problem is that when you start producing this password and it's stored inside the browser, or you have to store it someplace unsafe, it means then that you're still back to the same point of making your access or your connection online very unsafe. So they have done quite a bit to make sure that these passwords are as random as much as possible, but like with everything, not to frighten everyone, but everything has a vulnerability. So you need to store these passwords, see if you can store them as efficient as much as possible. In other words, try to keep the system as updated as much as possible, because for the average person, sometimes a lot of tools can cost quite a bit of money. So the best thing to do is if you use the browser to store the information, make sure that your computer is constantly updated.
Absolutely. And then about home security, when we were talking about getting personal, opening up your Wi-Fi for other people to use might not be a good idea. And there's a question about using VPNs really to secure your position. We know that the VPN really tells other people where you are.
Right. Well, my problem personally with the VPN is that when you use VPN providers, they also have your information. So you need to verify. This is a simple research. You can type in the best VPN service to use or breaches at different VPN companies and see who have the best itself, right? But in terms of the wireless within your home, it is something you need to keep safe. Many of us just have the box on the wall and we can only hope. So what we can do is to encourage our telecom providers to constantly update those boxes, because they can be compromised. Even with someone sitting on the outside of your house can compromise your wireless and get onto your network. Yes.
Finally, for now, Edward, I know for a lot of us working in this industry, we're fully aware of a lot of this technical stuff because this is what we do.
Right.
But there are many parents out there who are not aware of the fact that when their children get on and use these games like Roblox, etc., other children can triangulate and pinpoint, not only children, because there are adults who use it as well, and they know precisely where they are. For example, I can get on my daughter's iPad, for example, and I can see precisely where all of her friends are. So talk to parents quickly as we close up the session about what they need to do to stay on top of even that, for people to be able to track their children and therefore find out where they are, where their houses are, down to, the square foot.
For children and parents have to understand that we live in a new digital age that is no longer safe. Crime has now moved from the physical form to some point to online to go back to physical. So while children might find it fun that they know another location, it's not good for their safety, even for us as parents that want to know where our children are. So I think the best thing for parents to do is go back to the schools, ask the schools to have persons like myself or other entities to come in and talk about the security, because it's a whole long process. It's not only roadblocks, it's being the online presence, they're putting the pictures out there, having fun, but they're not understanding sometimes their friends share their own information with other friends. So therefore, it is a very high-risk game. We have a lot of pedophiles. We have a lot of persons that are exploiting. We have a lot of human trafficking. And that's one of the things that we really need to look at tremendously before it gets out of hand. And then we have greater level of risk, children going missing, etc.
All right. Thank you so much, Edward, for coming in. This most certainly won't be the last time we see you.
Right. It's no problem.
And I certainly hope a lot of schools, teachers, parents, organizations take up that offer of having cybersecurity experts or people who are well versed in this area to come in and have a conversation, particularly with the little ones. They tend not to be as kind of up in arms or uptight about these things as we are. Another thing that I personally do that I'd like to share with you is I never hand over my credit card or my debit card. Even if I'm tapping to pay and they say, would you like, I never hand it over. I've seen videos in the past where people are snapping photographs. It wasn't in Barbados, of the CVV, the security code at the back. And as long as they have the security code at the back and the numbers on the front, they can charge anything to your card. So I never hand my card over. I always tap myself, or if it has to be placed in the device, I put it in and enter the code, as discreetly as I can. So just be mindful of those things as we go about our day to day, because of the amount of malicious threats that there are in our environment these days. I see you here, Edward.
Don't share your phones either.
Yeah.
The phones has our credit cards. People tend to store the credit cards and everything online just in case something goes missing. So this now, you have to also keep this here guarded too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Again, thank you so much for your time. Time for another break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking some more interesting stuff. So stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action. Brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, we're so pleased to have some familiar faces here. I'm going to feel also old this morning in this conversation I'm having, not because we're talking about genealogy, but because often when older people meet up, they kind of try to plot family ties. Oh, you related? How you related to this person? That's precisely what we're doing now with Stacia Adams, who's joining us. She's an archivist with the Barbados Archives Department, and she's here to tell us about the Archives Department genealogy fair that's coming up. Good to see you, Stacia.
Good to see you
Of
too.
course, we're old school mates as well.
Yes, we are.
I put old in front. And joining us is Stacia Burrows, who is a member of Shirley Chisholm's family.
Yes.
All right, so I know that we are celebrating her centenary this time around.
Yeah.
She would have been 100 years old on November 30th,
Yes.
Independence Day this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is quite significant. I want to step back a little bit.
Yes.
And talk family ties.
Oh.
Yes? Let's talk about how you are related to the late Shirley Chisholm.
Okay. So I am Shirley Chisholm's second cousin. Okay. So I don't know if you've read any of her books, you know, right. So when she references her Uncle Lincoln is my grandfather. Okay, so that Lincoln would have been the youngest of her grandmother's children. Okay, so I am the daughter of Lincoln's oldest daughter, which is Miriam. Right, so that is familial tie.
Well, in Barbados, that's close.
That's close, yes.
You know, your grandfather's sister.
Yes.
No,
No, my grandfather's niece.
your grandfather's niece.
Yes, my
I
grandfather's
still
niece.
figure it out, yeah. But that is where genealogy comes in, where we're
Yes.
able to truly track it. So let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about genealogy and how we really can sew up these family ties. And then we're going to go specifically into the one that's coming up, Stacia.
Okay, so genealogy is basically the process of determining family ties or family connections by way of records, right? You have baptisms, marriages, burials, wills, deeds, as well as DNA analysis. And you think of, you know, that cheek cell analysis. You think of shows like Marie, Paternity Court.
No corroborable.
Yeah, 23andMe, you know, Ancestry.com. So, yeah, it's a way of establishing your family ties. And it's really important because it gives you a sense of identity, of belonging to a particular family group, belonging to a particular geographical area. There are persons within certain family groups that are known to belong to a particular parish, Christ Church, St. Michael, St. Joseph, St. Lucy, as well as giving you insights on medical history. Because if you look at death records, they would tell you what persons died of. So if the family has a history of diabetes, heart disease, sickle cell anemia, that is something that can be informed by genealogy research.
All right. So, at what stage did you recognize that Shirley was a pretty big deal?
Wow. I think I probably got this idea when I was in primary school. And I think that was actually her last trip here. And I remember that my mother, my father were saying, oh, they had to go to the hotel to meet this person. And I was all excited, like, oh, I get to meet new people. And they said, no, you're not going to go on this one. We're going to see what happened. And I just found it so strange. And then she was on television or the radio, I can't remember. And there was also, for me, I was saying, okay, this has to be something big, quite significant. Fast forward then to, I think probably secondary school, where someone mentioned Shirley Chisholm. When we were studying, we were looking at probably civil rights movement or something like that, and her name was mentioned. And I remember saying, I said, oh, I have a member of my family named Shirley Chisholm. never really occurred to me. And I went home. I don't even think it was the same day.
Everybody at school was probably like, yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I don't even think they even cued in on that, because I just said it that sort of way. And I just mentioned it to my father. And my father says, yeah, that's your mother's cousin. For real? Okay, good. Teenage years, I didn't really worry too much about that. But then it has only been, I would say, in all honesty, I recognize the big deal, as an adult, young, late teens, early adults. But it only really clicked, I think, and I started reading her books and that sort of stuff with Obama. Before then, I met members of the Black Panthers and stuff like that, because we had a Reformations conference in Barbados, I want to say in 2007. So reparations. And they came in and they spoke of Shirley, and I spoke about it then, and I had members of the Black Panther. They wanted to, they were saying, you had a really powerful woman in your family, because she would have just recently died. So it was that sort of thing that went on. But really with Obama,
yeah,
when he started writing and he started talking about the audacity of hope, and he then referenced and he said that she was one of the main reasons why he even considered running for office. And you just start saying, hey, my family's kind of a big deal, sort of.
Just like we like to say in Barbados, that's my family. Right? All right, so the Ministry of Culture, in recognizing that we need to recognize these family ties, these deep roots, we're having a genealogy marketplace that's going to feature a number of very, very interesting things, so Barbadians can come out and really explore these deep roots.
Yes, so the Genealogy Marketplace is a showcase basically of education, culture, ancestry, as well as community engagement, because without the community there to drive the process, it can't come off to its full glory. So it's basically an event that started in 2016, and it was established by the Barbados Department of Archives, that's under the Division of Culture within the Prime Minister's office, in collaboration with the Barbados Tourism and Marketing Inc. And this year is particularly special, so it's slated for next Saturday, the 23rd of November, between the hours of 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's going to be held at the Barbados Department of Archives, that is just adjacent to, opposite the Usain Bolt Stadium. And it is special because we're going to be hosting the Shirley Chisholm exhibition as part of the Division of Culture's Shirley Chisholm project, titled Celebrating Shirley 100 Years. And of course, it's a government-led initiative. It celebrates the centennial of Chisholm's birth. So we have a number of components to the marketplace. But let me just zero in on the exhibit a bit. on exhibit. There will be things like memory boxes. Chisholm was a huge fan of decorative cigar boxes. She would have been particularly fond of decorating these boxes so that they could contain, you know, knickknacks, paraphernalia. There will also be interpretative panels of West Indian politicians, and that would be a nod to her political career, so paying homage to her political career. There will be news sheets on Pan-Africanism on display as well as Chisholm, as well as her father. I guess her father was an inspiration towards being very passionate and supportive of the Black civil rights activism and Pan-Africanism. So there'll be those new sheets. There will also be a spoken word piece by a noted poet who's going to be delivering that piece. A lifetime timeline that will be represented by a host of books and records at the department that would span her lifetime, her period. Attendees will also be treated to a video montage of testimonies, recordings of those individuals who would have shared on how Chisholm would have influenced persons within her Barbadian neighborhood when she was in Barbados. There will also be sorority photos because she was a student of Brooklyn College and she would have pledged to a particular sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. And that particular involvement we could see being particularly notable because she was also passionate about women's rights, right? As well as there'll be a host of artifacts from her life as well on exhibit.
All right.
So
there's a lot that will be happening. And again, it's coming up this Saturday, November 23rd.
Yes.
From 10 a.m. to 5 o'clock at the Black Rock location of the Barbados Archives Department. You can't miss it. Yeah.
But that is only one section of the marketplace. Of course, there's going to also be workshops, genealogical workshops, consisting of presentations, record searches, educational stalls on the Barbados East Indian connection, Barbados, Guyana, and there's another one. Yeah, Guyana connection. There is going to be also food stalls with traditional Bajan food, games like Wari and Potter, dominoes, you know, so this is not to be missed.
I've been to quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And I must say it's an eye-opener. So in addition to showcasing all of these things about Shirley Chisholm and looking throughout her lifespan, you're going to be able to do that for yourself as well, for your family. So, you know, as an individual, as a family, I think that makes a world of difference. Particularly as we see a lot of older people age out.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we can hone in on that information. You might take for granted that granny says, my dear aunt was so-and-so or this and that. Once they're gone and you've not logged that, it's lost.
Yes.
So now is the time to be able to kind of jump on that and look back. And there's no feeling like seeing, oh my goodness, my granny was on this ship from this place who came here. Your family, though, must feel incredibly proud to have the recognition of Shirley in this way. So final words from you on that.
Yes. Proud does not even begin to describe it. I mean, the fact that one of our own has been recognized by the government for work that came naturally to her. You know, the fact that her legacy will live on. I mean, we have the school. We're now having the tours, the tours for the school. And, you know, the fact that they're placing importance on her and our family, it is phenomenal for us, and representing Barbadians in the diaspora, our family is obviously spread. So we're here and we're in the U.S. So that's why the sister city agreement
is in place.
Is in place, and it is so important.
Good stuff. And I know the Black Caucus in the U.S. They're moving to do some things across the U.S. In honor of this centenary year as well. So thank the Stacias for taking over this morning. Stacia Burrows and Stacia Adams. Yes. So Burrows is one part of the family name.
One part, but the family is the Seal.
The Seal.
The Seal family. So Emmeline Seal.
Seale.
Seale. So Emmeline Seal would have been the grandmother that was overall. She would have been the grandmother that Shirley and her
sisters
would have come to. Yes, the matriarch.
We know of that granny. Sit down there.
Yes. Don't sit there, don't move. She said Granny Emily was one of the few people that she's ever met in her life that she was genuinely afraid of and did not challenge.
All right, so again, thank you. We want you to come out to the Barbados Archives Department Genealogy Marketplace. I don't miss them. No, it's going to be on November 23rd, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Black Rock. There will be lots to see, lots to do. As Stacia mentioned, there are usually great eats and drinks, a lot of Bajan food there. The East Indian connection, the Guyanese connection, the Latin America connection, we get to see, and you do research on your own family as well. Hey, it's time for another break. When we come back, we want you to guess the location. Get close to your telephone lines as we celebrate independence. I want to see how well you know Barbados. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, that's some real Bajan sounding music. All right, so put on your thinking caps. We're going to show you somewhere now. And I am wondering if you can guess the location. I have two ladies on set with me, and they're here to talk about NIFCA. But I'm going to see if they can guess quietly. You can't say because we have to get call-ins. So we have Stacia and Alicia from the NCF. We're going to put up a place for you, and you have to call us 228-5562 or 228-5563 and guess this location. Can you guess where that is? It's a beautiful overhead view, and I'm sure you can tell exactly what we're talking about. These two on the set look thoroughly stumped. Gurus of the island fancy themselves as people who know much about the culture, places, and people. But where is this? 228-5562, 228-5563. Call us up and guess that location. Ooh, where is this? Stacia, just, you look like you know. If you know, nod your head, say yes, 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 you know, Stacia? I think Stacia knows. Alicia, do you know? No? Bare Alicia's and Stacia's in here today. I don't understand what's going on. I'm outnumbered. All right, so call us up, 228-5562. It would be great to hear from the little ones as well. 228-5562, that's the number to call me. Or 228-5563 and tell me where this is. Yeah? It's that simple. It can't be that hard. Come on. You go there all the time. I'm sure. Even if it's for just a little drive, a little recreation, to see something a little different on the island. Some people might call it a far out spot. Yeah? You feel like, Stacey, I don't know, they're keeping quiet over here because we want you to call in and see if you can get it right. As soon as I saw it, I was like, come on, guys. This is super duper easy, but isn't the overhead view of Barbados simply phenomenal? Usually on the West Coast, we see something a little different when it comes to the seashore. But on this particular coast, it's a lot different from what we see on the other side of the island. Yeah, so let me take a phone call and see. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling us from?
Christchurch.
Christchurch. Where in Christchurch?
Christchurch.
Okay. Do you know where this location is?
I think it's the Animal Flower Cave.
Is it the Animal Flower Cave, she says? Are you sure? Did you look at this picture and think that is definitely the Animal Flower Cave?
I think so.
You think so, or you're sure?
I'm sure.
You are absolutely right. It is indeed the Animal Flower Cave. A very, very gorgeous spot, but looking at it from this vantage point, it almost looks like it could be a forest. Yeah, so congratulations. Have you been down to the Animal Flower Cave lately?
No.
Well, make a trek to the Animal Flower Cave for Independence. There's a restaurant. There's lots to see and do. So make sure you make that journey and take in Barbados. All right?
Yes.
What's your first name?
Claudian.
All right, so I don't have to call you Miss Christchurch. All right, thank you for calling. Yeah, that one was easy, right, ladies? Yeah, that one was easy. Anyways, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are talking the NIFCA Gala. Can you remember all those wonderful years that we enjoy? The best that NIFCA has to offer? It's back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a big
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, it's 7:04 TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I would have preferred if the T in there has something to do with Tisha, but I'm going to work on it. So the ladies are still here with me. Stacey O'Brien, Festival and Events Planner with the National Cultural Foundation. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Tisha. How are you
Always
doing?
wonderful to see you. And ditto on this one as well, Alicia Payne-Hurley, Cultural Officer, Dance and Co-Producer of the NIFCA Performing Arts Gala. Good to see you as always.
Good morning. Good to see you, classmate.
And another classmate. Yeah, so, we have the NIFCA Arts Gala coming up in a matter of days, literally.
Yep.
So we're pleased to have you here to talk all about it. Tell me about how the season has unfolded.
Wow. This year has been a phenomenal year for NIFCA. We've seen a resurgence in the community groups, in the school groups, in our programs that extend to the service. There is so much happening in NIFCA this year that the gala is a return to that place where as Barbadians we could see ourselves represented in such a tradition of excellence on stage. And on Sunday, I encourage everyone to come to the Willie Gymnasium and immerse themselves in what we at the NCF are calling this year reflections. At this time of independence, we're approaching the season that we're going to look at ourselves and celebrate another year of being Barbadians. This year, NIFCA has really given us a commentary on where we are as a people through the lens of all of our creative artists, dance, drama, and music. And, it's one of those things that you do not want to miss the gala. You don't want this gala to go by and you have to hear about it or read about them in the newspaper on Sunday or next week and, see the clips online. You want to be there live to see what's going on. And the team at the NCF, particularly my colleague Alicia and the entire team in the Cultural Development Department that have really been the engine behind the festival. This year, this is like the showcase of all the months of hard work. And I would love to hand over to Alicia because she has been really that officer in the grind, particularly in this particular gala, so that we can have the best showing that we can have on Sunday.
Right, that's excellent. So, why the theme reflections?
Oh, when you come on Sunday, you will understand because all the pieces, they're speaking of reflections in one way or the other. You're either taking a look back at old Barbadiana, taking a good laugh at the things we used to do, the things we used to enjoy, or you're reflecting on self. Reflecting on how can I build as a human, looking at my past self and what my present self and my future self could be. or you're reflecting on the social issues in Barbados. And the young people are speaking out against what they don't want to see, a Barbados that they don't want to see, and they're doing that strongly. So when we saw, all these themes coming through, and we also are reflecting on, unfortunately, the losses that we've had in the arts this year have been, it's very tough. Us just losing Tyrone Trotman, losing Sonia Williams early in the year, Jean Carson, Virginia Seeley, they were all a part of NIFCA last year, and they're not here to celebrate with us, so we're also reflecting on their lives and contribution. So it seemed to be the most fitting theme for this year's Performing Arts Gala.
All right, that's beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect in terms of the actual performances.
Yeah. Well, it's a packed night. It's a packed night. We have dance, we have theater arts, we have film, we have literary arts, we have music. And so, we used to say the Performing Arts Gala, but it really is now the NIFCA Gala of Excellence. And you can see some familiar faces and some new faces, which is always good. Some schools and community groups. So you have the Haynesville Youth Club, you have Barbados Dance Theatre, Cuthbert Moore Primary School, Efflorescence Dance Collective. You're going to see Dr. Denise Charles in Literary Arts, Northern Lakes Drama Group. You have Wesley Hall Junior School, Malachi Hope, JOY Productions, Sky Dowridge, Akeem Chandler Prescott, Kimani Devonish, Dance in Africa, Jack Lewis, St. Luke's Academy, Alistair Alexander, the ever-popular Siptones, Multifarious Dance Crew, and Christchurch Foundation School.
Wow, wow,
It's
wow,
an
wow,
amazing
wow.
cast.
That is quite
It is
a
an
lineup.
amazing cast,
For people who would have missed, the performance nights, this is a great way to do some catching up as well.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of Barbadians recognize that coming out. I mean, we would have gone through the COVID pandemic and these things, but this is the first time since that experience that we have rekindled the essence of what the gala would be. Last year we had our 50th anniversary, and that's a very special presentation that was done with Barrett Bajan and the tribute to Kamal Bratha and so on. But this year we really anchored it back into where it began, and without the teams on the ground, without these teachers, without the principals, without the community leaders, without the costume designers, without the musicians and the artists who work down behind the scenes with these groups, coaching and the NIFCA coaching team, all behind the scenes, to bring this level of a production to Barbados in independence. It is, like I'm saying, it's not a production that you want to miss at this time. Come and celebrate independence, come and celebrate the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts, and enjoy being a Barbadian.
Listen, that brings that level of pride all the way back. When you see everyone from the little ones all the way to the grown ones.
It is that
performing,
kind of NIFCA.
It really brings back that pride that we remember. So it's happening at the Wildy Gym.
Yes, on Sunday.
There's room for a lot of people, not the whole of Barbados.
Well, get your tickets.
So where do we get the tickets from?
NCF, CS Pharmacy, Sol, Rubis, I Shop in Sheraton. Get your tickets early.
Ticket links
online. Check the NCF website and ensure that you have your right box office closest to your home, your work, your school, just to ensure that you are part of this, because it really is a representation of us as a people. You can see the granny represented, you can see the little boy, you can see the man on the block, you can see the society, the church, everyone who has something to say. But what is so beautiful about it is that this gala gives you it through the lens of the performing artists. And Alicia hasn't said it, but we have a top-notch award cast this year with a number of silvers, double golds in some of the performances, and the team has really curated a top-notch, first-class NIFCA Gala Sunday at the Wildy Gymnasium. You don't want to be a Barbadian and not know about the gala this year.
Wonderful stuff. We talked a little bit about the process before in terms of determining who you're going to kind of put on stage. You can't put everybody on, but I know sometimes it can be a painstaking process to really decide, we're going to have this person here, there. Do you still feel that level of awe and surprise sometimes at the acts you see?
Oh, definitely. The creatives are always ready to shock us. We're always ready to receive it. We had hundreds of entry, hundreds literally, in all of the NIFCA categories this year. And it just speaks to, the fact that Barbadian creatives are primed, prepped, and ready for NIFCA and, the traditional NIFCA once again. And they were happy to be there. So the judges had a tough time in every category, coming down to the finalists. And then we had an even tougher time as a team going, okay, we are going to select these ones, but why not this one? But beautiful thing, as Stacia said, excellence on top of excellence. I think we've gone past the best of the best. This is the excellent out of the excellent, to be honest. And we have 7 gold awardees, all of the top awards, majority of the top awards being won. You're going to see all of them represented, all of this certificates of achievement, all of the special and incentive awards. You're going to see all of that on the stage. So it really is going to be an excellent evening.
And Stacey, I really love to hear about those double golds.
Oh my!
I know how hard they have to work.
Yes.
To have a NIFCA gold is a real honor.
It is, and I always say, as Barbadians, we have our festivals, and we experience them every day as a part of our everyday landscape and for our cultural experience. But when we step back and we really see the quality that we have on island, the work that's coming out of the Barbados Community College and the Alvaro Center for Creative Imagination, the community groups, the ICH project that came out of the National Culture Foundation, that really has helped given us back that bedrock of engagement with people who just genuinely want to be involved in the arts and the creative sector. So when you see it on stage and you see the professional teams behind, like our technical officer Jamal Cobham, that boy's brain is in a whole different dimension, and we are pleased to have someone of that caliber at the National Culture Foundation, because now you can see the next generation in place, moving forward, giving you the technology and the skills behind it to push behind these performing artists. So the teams are there, the mentors are there, the support systems are there. We just want some more sponsorship. And we want to make sure that we can continue to give you a top-notch production each year for the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts. So come out on Sunday at the Wilder Gymnasium, get your tickets. And tonight, don't forget, we have the NIFCA film screening at the National Botanical Gardens in the amphitheater. It's free, so you can come down, bring your blankets.
From what time?
From 6 this evening.
6 o'clock this evening.
Yes, you can come down.
Botanical Gardens at the amphitheater. Final word from you on why we should come out to the big show on Sunday.
20 fantastic acts.
Beautiful.
Barbadian talent at its best. From the little ones at the primary school, you can see yourself in them when you see them on stage. So excited. To those guys who've been doing it for a while, the popular names, and they're all coming, bringing excellence. There's no other reason to come out of your house than like for a NIFCA gala.
It starts at 6 o'clock. So
6 o'clock.
Get there early. Okay, so we want to make sure you're seated by the time the action starts.
Definitely.
I want to thank you ladies for coming in. Good to see you.
It's always good to see you.
I don't know
we
why
have
you
to
didn't
say
come
thank you
another
to
day.
to you.
So many Stacias.
Yeah,
on.
it's this morning.
Yes, you wanted to say something?
Yes, we have to say thank you to the media teams, because if not for you and your engagement with the NIFCA Festival, the promotion that we need to ensure that people can see and understand the talent that's on island, we couldn't get where we need to be. So we thank you too for being a part of it.
This is very true.
Being a stakeholder.
I accept on behalf of all
media.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing with us this morning.
Great.
And we have lots to do, because I'm thinking the wheels are turning. I'm like, I want to see the film screening tonight.
Yes.
So I'm going to try to make that. Then, of course, we have the Spirit of the Nation show tomorrow. We've been introducing you to the ambassadors throughout the week. And then the NIFCA show on Sunday. It's going to be a busy, busy weekend. If you see me with these little eyes here, even smaller on Monday morning, you will know why. All right, time for a break, though. When we come back, we're going to tell you about an upcoming initiative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's already 7:20 on this Friday. I dread Fridays sometimes for, more reasons than one, but particularly because of traffic. It's like everybody says on Friday, I'm going out. I'm going to drive my car. Yeah, it's crazy no matter where you try to go on island. I mean, that happens throughout the week, but Fridays, it really, really intensifies. And it certainly is going to get even more congested on the roads around Barbados as we move into the busy Christmas season, all right? So be careful as you head on out. Let's welcome back a familiar face and a new one to complement that familiar face. Kathy Daniel is National Communications Director with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Always good to have you with us.
Good to be here. Thank you very much.
And today she's brought along Spencer. Spencer is a medical student here in Barbados living, and he's also a member of the church. He is branch mission leader as well. So good to have you with us, Spencer.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right. So Kathy, welcome back. First of all, there's a very special event coming up that you wanted to come in and share with us.
Yes. Tomorrow, Saturday, we are going to be blessed with a visit from an apostle of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And this is Elder Ronald A. Rasband. So we're having a special event at the District Center, which is located at the Christchurch Chapel. As the Bajans would say, at the top of the small hill in Rendezvous. So that building there off to the side. So we're inviting everyone to come on down. Let's hear what Elder Rasband and his companions have to say.
All right, for you, Spencer, what does it mean to be able to have Elder Rasband come to Barbados and share in this way?
So I think it's a great opportunity because he's here to share a message that I think a lot of people would like to hear about Jesus Christ, because we know that we believe that Jesus Christ is the greatest example, and it's so awesome to have an apostle come and to testify of him and to let us know how we can better follow Jesus Christ and just live by his example. And he truly is, just as the apostles of old, the original apostles that Jesus Christ called, they are special witnesses of Jesus Christ and are here to help us understand how we can better to follow his example.
Absolutely. Now you're going to be presented a hybrid situation again this time around. So for those people who aren't there, they're going to be able to jump on and share with it, or do you have to be there in person?
It's a hybrid. There is a Zoom link, which if you check our church social media, you will see the information to get on there. But it's absolutely, we're inviting everyone, members, non-members, friends, curious people, come on down and hear for yourself. But it will be hybrid because the Barbados mission, correct me if I go wrong, encompasses a couple of the other islands like St. Vincent and I think Guadeloupe as well. So obviously they're not going to be able to hop on a plane and come here. Would be nice, but
yeah,
we haven't reached that stage yet. So, you know, we use the technology to the best. On a personal level, I see technology as neutral. We can share messages from the church. We can share messages from the apostles. We can share loving messages. And that's the really important thing. So we use the technology for those people who are unable to make it in person.
All right. So even though we have this elder coming, I know there are some other people who will be accompanying him in terms of sharing the message for this particular occurrence.
Yes, because our church, we have, I think it's a quote from a scripture. It says, the Lord's house is a house of order. So there is a beautiful structure where you have the church leaders at various levels. So we have the First Presidency who are over the entire planet. That's a lot of responsibility. But then we also have what we call general authorities. So one of these is Elder Arnulfo Valenzuela. He is a member of the 70 of the church. He has been in that position since 2013. And he was born in Chihuahua, Mexico. And he and his wife have 3 children. The other person who will be coming along is Elder Vern P. Stanfill, who is another general authority of the 70. And he's been in that position since 2015. And he'd been serving in the North America Central area. So this gentleman has served in a number of church callings, and he was born in Montana. So, I mean, it's an international church. It's a worldwide church. So we are happy to be able to mingle and share with people from different cultures, different languages. I've personally had the opportunity, the blessing of going to the temple in several different countries. Once in the USA, I went very early in the morning. I think it was the Bountiful Temple, and because of the different congregations, they had, I think it was either Fiji or Samoa, but Pacific Islanders. So all of the information was given in that language, and I had to wear an interpretation device. And I remember, but you know what? It didn't make a difference.
Yeah, I think that was the same. That is the difference right there. To be able to, I would imagine, move across the globe and still be able to connect with like-minded people and your church, which is your story, Spencer. What did it mean to you once you came here to go to school at Ross University to be able to connect with a church here in Barbados, or churches here in Barbados who, are part of your church generally?
So I thought it was amazing, and kind of like she mentioned, that it's a global church, and God really doesn't care where you were born or what you look like or what your background is. He has a church of order and wants everybody to receive the message of love. And to move here to Barbados, it was difficult for my family and I, and Mabe was an acquired taste, and I'm still trying to acquire it.
What was it, Spencer?
Mabe?
No, I didn't ask for your help.
Oh, geez, I butchered it. Mabe? It tastes like dirt right out of the ground. And I heard it was an acquired taste, and for a year I've been trying to acquire it, because what I'm trying to get at is that I'm trying to understand the people around me, and sorrow is good, though. I love sorrow. And so it was difficult to try and acquire some of those things, but it's awesome to be received by open arms and by love. And it's great to see that God has it that way, that he really doesn't care if you like that drink or not. He's going to love you either way. And that's the message that the church is trying to get across, is that God loves us, Jesus Christ is our Savior, and that we should be spreading that love, and it doesn't matter where you come from.
Absolutely. I really shouldn't make fun at this point in time, but God will love you more, Spencer, if you like Marby, all right? Especially in this month of independence. I mean, come on.
We're working on him. Come on, he's trying. He's giving it his best shot.
Hold on. We're going to have to get you a conky. Have you had a conky? You've been here for more than a year. Come on.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We have to work. Gasp. Yes.
Yes.
We definitely have to work on that, Spencer.
All
But
right.
it's all coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Kathy.
It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock at the district.
PM?
7 p.m. I'm sorry. Yes, to be clear, 7 p.m. And it is at the district center, which is the Christchurch Chapel Rendezvous, top of the small hill. So
Absolutely.
7 p.m. sharp.
And like Kathy told you, they're going to be connecting to a few of others in the district, St. Vincent, Guadalupe as well. So it really is an occasion.
Everyone's welcome. You know, if you look at the sign at the front of the church, it has the name of the church, and then it says all are welcome.
Yeah. The good thing is you can log in via Zoom. The Zoom password is on the screen that you can jump on, and the password is there and the login ID. Or, as Kathy told you, go to the social media page to be able to get the link as well, and check in. Sometimes it's really good to be able to see other people's views and share in their views and thoughts and find out what's happening in their neck of the woods. It's time for us to check in with others around the world. So thank you both for coming in. Kathy Daniel, of course, the National Communications Director for the church, and Spencer, who is still experiencing Barbados. We're going to work on getting you a little closer.
Sounds good.
A little closer, Spencer, with the Marby.
And the conkeys.
And the conkeys. If he didn't have the conkeys, I wouldn't even ask if he had cuckoo, because I know that's a no. Yeah, but we definitely have to work. You don't like cuckoo?
Sorrel was good enough. Why would I need anything else? It was so, it's all over my fridge. It's all I have.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas in a cup.
It is Christmas in a cup. All right. We're going to take a break. Make sure you come on out tomorrow and take in a part of that special presentation, a special district conference with Elder Ronald A. Rasband of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Thank you both for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, time for another break. Coming up on Morning Barbados, we are going to be talking to the West Indies Full Bore Shooting Championships team. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados. 26 minutes now before 8 o'clock. Joining us now, we have some members of the Barbados Rifle Association who just competed. They're just back from the West Indies Full Bore Shooting Championships 2024. So let's say a special good morning to Joshua Trotman.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome. Also here is Tonya Edwards.
Good morning.
She's team captain. We also have Lancelot Trotman. Good to have you with us.
Morning.
Lancelot is responsible for guns and ammunition, and Versailles Ramsey, who is team manager.
Yes, good morning.
So welcome. Great to have all of you with us. Congratulations on all that you were able to accomplish at the meet.
Thank you very much.
I'll start with you, Joshua, because you've only been shooting with the team for about 4 years, but here you are. You've come out as the regional individual championship winner, and you were also the youngest shooter.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's quite the accomplishment for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it make you feel to be able to, come out on top of a championship like this one?
It wasn't expected because honestly, I went just to have fun, saying it was my second championship. Because last year when I shot as a tyro, I came second in class. So this year, I didn't really feel that much expectations to go and shoot. But being there then, after the first day, after I saw the scores, that then basically made me have to buckle down in a way to try and last out the whole competition.
All right, that's excellent stuff. Again, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Now, Tonya, you are team captain, and I'm told that the Barbados squad, had the biggest female contingent of all the other Caribbean islands. That must have been quite an interesting mix.
That it was. We not only had the largest female, which was 5, but we had 14 overall, which was the largest group competing. It's a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful organization, and it was an exceptional team to work with.
Good stuff. Talk to us about your journey in shooting competitively.
I started shooting in 2015. would have started small bore, which is a smaller rifle, smaller ammunition. And then I migrated over to full bore 2017, where Guyana happened to be the first competitive shoot as well. Then we'd also had the largest female representative with 4 competing at the time. And I felt like empowered to know that as small as we are, we went strong. And I just kept going from there. It was a pleasure to represent the team this year, back in Guyana as the team captain, and coming out with great things.
That's beautiful stuff. And Mr. Trotman, for you, you have responsibility overall for guns and ammunition. That's quite the job to undertake. But talk to me about how long you've been a member of the Barbados Rifle Association, and then taking care of things competitively.
I've been a part of the association since 2010. So it has been a great experience, and having to take care of the weapons and ammunition is a challenge. But you have to remember all the numbers and remember the respective persons that shoot them.
All right. What initially piqued your interest in joining the association?
Well, I was always fascinated by shooting, because it was a part of the military, and from there on I just kept on shooting, and it's quite interesting.
That's good stuff. It definitely is. For you, Versailles, it must have been a real proud time going out with this big Barbadian team, the biggest female contingent from all the other competitors across the region as well, and then to come back with medals at the top of the table. Must have been a real honor.
Yes, it was a very great honor. And to see how we operate as a team, I think we were recognized as that, because they had other competitive persons coming over and saying to me they like how we operated. When we were finished shoot, everybody come together, help each other, get stuff off the bank and hydrate each other, because over there was hot. And we were able then, being me the manager, I was able then, as soon as they came off, I was able then to hydrate them and stuff. And it has been an honor, very much an honor.
All right, walk us through the competition a little bit. The shape it took. I was following along there with Tonya, talking about, how she has kind of migrated through things. Now she's into the full bore, which is where she competed and so on with this particular one. Right. So to walk us through the competition.
Okay, the competition actually started, in every competition, they have a different island or a different country who hosts it. So with Guyana being hosted for this year, we had to do a lot of training. And sometimes that training was a bit difficult, because then we had less ammunition, and then we didn't have the training that we wanted to put in because of unforeseen scenes. And then it was a bit difficult, but however, we were determined to continue with whatever little resources that we would have had and to push forward. And I think we've done a great job. We had also our tyros, which was Terry Clark, Jonathan Hines, and Steve Dataram. There were tyros, and they came out as well to the top. And that gives me, as a manager, a great pleasure in saying well done to the Barbados team who have just competed at the Guyana.
All right, now for the layperson, what is a tyro? Define it a little bit more for us.
Tyro is the person who would have now started off. They would have done the fundamentals in terms of training. If you want to call it that. If you want to call it that. But there are those who would have done their training, went over to, they would have started at the 2-2, because each and every one of us would have started at 2-2, and then we would have migrated over to the full bore. So they would have migrated over to the full bore section, whereas they would have gone on, it's a different set of training altogether, because the ammunition is louder, you have to have more control, and you have to have what you consider more focus. And so they took it in very well, and they were able then to execute over there and had everyone just stunned, and we love that.
All right, that's good stuff. It's good that you've been able to excel in this way in such a short space of time, particularly as such a young member of the team. So what advice would you be giving, can you give to anyone who's looking on who might be thinking, well, you know, I'd love to shoot competitively?
It's a fun sport. It is hard. So you have to be prepared to put in a good set of training, especially with your breathing and your positioning. But over time, those become like second nature. But joining the sport is somewhat complicated because it is expensive. You do have to purchase your own gear, and then owning the rifle is also another complicated process. And for me, especially being a left-handed shooter, because most of the team are right-handed, I have to share a rifle. So sometimes when we go competitions, that causes some slight complications in the sense of squatting, where you're shooting with another person from another team for scoring. But the sport overall is enjoyable. You do get to see some new places, and then the medals.
Where are they? I don't see any. I don't see any medals. I don't see any medals. This means you have to come back because I need to see the medals. Same for you, Tonya. What was the tournament like for you?
The tournament was, let me say, different this year, because this year was the first year I wasn't just a shooter. Team captain, you have responsibilities. You have to make sure everything is in order. The team has what they need, and then you represent the team in meetings. Should things change or not go as planned, we did have a few of those. So it made it more, I don't want to say tiring, yes, but rewarding nevertheless, to see that we were able to come out victorious in many ways. We not only had the top male in the region, which was Josh, we had the top female, Shelly Ann Hines, who unfortunately couldn't make it today. And we also had the top Tyro, Terry Clark. So it was rewarding beyond measures this year.
All right,
Definitely.
that's good stuff. For you, Mr. Trotman, how did you feel about the showing this year with the team?
It was great. I must say it was great. Everyone did their part, and you know, every morning I had to make sure that everybody have the equipment and everything is up to scratch, so that when we go on the bank and start to shoot, that we're well prepared.
All right, good stuff for you, Versailles. You know, there's nothing better than having a team that delivers once you go out to the meets. Talk to us about what's next for you and how people can go about maybe being a part of the Barbados Rifle Association.
Okay, first thing I want to say that if persons are interested, okay, we have a website, barbadosrifleassociation.org, and also there is, we usually put them into training, and when I say training, you have to do like a 6 weeks course of safety and, you know, preparation and all that. And then after that, then we have, sometimes we do have a written examination, whereas to test your knowledge in terms of what you would have gained while doing that training and stuff. And then if you are successful enough, then you will come on board. But before coming on board, then we have to do another 6 weeks then to make sure, because remember, we are not just like literally say, we're not just like having a classroom one-on-one, but then sometimes we have practical, we have theory. The practical consists then of you getting behind the rifle and you know the ins and outs, and of course we have knowledgeable trainers and instructors that will guide you along, and then we have even the other persons that are the members that are there then who will also have a close eye to make sure that everything is put in order. And that's basically it. But going forward, we have our games now to be held next year, 2025, hopefully in May. And this is where we would need all the support, all the...
So they're going to be held here in Barbados?
Here in Barbados.
All right. How many countries are we
we are looking at the US of A, Canada, hopefully the UK, then normally comes down. One point in time in 2017, we would have had the Australians and we would have the Irish. So we are looking at, basically speaking, the UK, the US of A, Canada, we have Trinidad and Tobago, we have Guyana, we have Grenada, who is now on board, and we have Antigua and Barbuda. Forgive me if I forget anyone, because it's
well, because
thing,
it's November
right.
and we're talking about
Right.
everything that's big, you can say and the rest. It would totally be acceptable.
And the others. And the others. But what I wanted to say is, when I joined the club in 1998, I mean, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And up to this present time, it is still phenomenal. And like young Josh, I mean, you don't have to tell him nothing twice. He's just onto it. He's just onto it. And our dear team captain, she have done a tremendous job, Mr. Lancelot. I'm proud of each and every one. I mean, they made the job so easy for the team management. And also, I want to make mention of Mr. Richard Arthur. Can't forget him. He was really, he was our adjutant actually, and he was definitely a part of this whole entire, what I can consider success.
All right, well,
Success.
congratulations to you. Thanks for coming and sharing with us. And as I often love to say to people who come in, who do hands-on things, next time I don't want you on the couch, I will take the shoes off. Because, you know, if people tell me I can't shoot in my high heel shoes, I'm not going to argue against that. I'll take the shoes off, and maybe we can meet at the association. I definitely gear up and have a time. You know,
most
you guys can show me
definitely.
around.
Yes, most definitely. When you're coming, just you can leave your information with the team captain.
When I see a lot of face. Before morning. Yeah.
He's very reserved, but when it comes to persons logging on and coming on board, yes.
All right, so thank you all for coming in. And it's a wonderful note on which we kind of say goodbye to them, because they're all wearing their national colors. And that's what we're going to do with the Morning Barbados set next. You know that we have a partnership in place with Standard Distributors on Wildy. And so, you know, we get the furnishings and furniture and so on from them. So Emerald Living, that company is responsible for taking care of the furniture and all the showrooms you see there at Standard. And they're going to give us an independence makeover look that you're going to experience the fullness of it from next Monday. But Kimberly Payne, who's the lady in charge, she knows all the wonderful things about making it look good. She's up next, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how she's going to approach changing up the set to reflect independence. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so I told you Kimberly Payne is here. She's with the team from Standard Distributors over in Wildy. If you want something new, you want a splash of something for independence to give that look, we're going to be sharing with that with you in the coming weeks. So Kimberly is here to do the same for the Morning Barbados set. Always wonderful to see you, Kimberly.
Good to see you as well. Thank you.
All right, so I see we swapped out the flowers and we have a hint of yellow.
A hint of yellow. It's independence after all, so we might as well bring in the yellow. We can bring some blues, and because this is such a neutral color with the dark gray, I brought in some really nice gray flowers as well that they have in store.
I know that you brought a few extras along to maybe show us how you go, but these floral arrangements, are they difficult to do?
They're not that difficult. What I've done is just create a tier system and then also a gradient of color. So you have the brighter yellows in the back, and then we have the same flower but in white, and then we wanted to keep within the same color.
Okay, so that you get a hint.
Color scheme. Yeah.
Okay, so you have some of these smaller little flowers over here.
Yes.
And of course these are all, you know, they're not
all
real people.
No.
So, you know, these ones now would go a little closer to the front.
So the front at the
to
bottom
be able to kind of build it out a little bit more.
And you can play around with your floral arrangements. There's so many shapes that you can do as well.
Yeah, I know people love this, especially for Christmas. People are out buying their flowers.
Yes.
And just those little two that you put in the front made it give it a different shape.
Different look and shape and everything. Yes.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we can also spruce up the look with something as simple as throw pillows.
Throw pillows. So I'm gonna just grab the two throw pillows because we're gonna toss these out and bring in some more yellow.
Oh no, I'm so attached. Okay, let's see what you have planned.
Only for a little time.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna scoot
some
over.
Quick changes.
So we have some yellow here that's available in store. And they also have the gray and the white, so it still complements each other.
Yes.
So we just.
I mean, look at what a difference it has made.
Just a little
by
bit.
Changing out the color, you definitely are picking up a little bit of Barbados with that.
Yes,
these throw pillows.
exactly.
And then, of course, you can make them as fluffy as you want to.
As you want to, yes. You can always make them very fluffy, or if you want them, you can have different sizes as well. As you can see here, you have a larger lumbar pillow and then a smaller one. But having the contrast of color is always a good feel.
What are your thoughts on having something with because this is a big design, even though it's the gray, the white, and the yellow, and then you have, you know, one that is just the plain yellow on it. You know, do you say that you have to go for that, or should you just go for whatever suits you?
Whatever suits you, whatever your style is, whatever you like.
Absolutely.
But group the colors together.
Good stuff. And then you brought in some beautiful pieces for the center table as well.
Yes, so we group them in threes, and we also have different tier systems here as well. So you have different levels, but they also have in the yellow that complements the yellow here, and a bit of blue for independence.
All right, how about that?
Yeah.
So a little bit of a different look with the crew from Standard and Kimberly from Emerald Living. And she's going to be sharing with us in the coming weeks as well ways that we can spruce up our space. Because if you go and you get these pieces for a tabletop, a few throw pillows, and some new flowers, it can make the room look phenomenal without breaking the bank. So always great to see you, and I look forward to seeing you for the next 2 Fridays.
Yes, please. I'll be here.
All right. So if you have any questions, you definitely can share your questions with us, and we will share them with Kimberly because she's going to be around. Hey, believe it or not, that's the show. I'm looking at the clock and can hardly believe we're already close to the 8 o'clock hour. Before we go, we want to remind you that the Barbados Football Association has announced the National Senior Men's Squad and their management team for the upcoming home and away CONCACAF Nations League play-in matches against Guyana this month. The first match is set to be held right here on home soil at the BFA Technical Center today, 7 o'clock tonight, as a matter of fact. So check that out. The Barbershop Talk series will host its first conference under the theme Addressing Mental Health Concerns Among Black Men and Boys in Barbados. And that is happening this weekend as well, tomorrow, the 16th, over at the University of the West Indies. It runs from 9 o'clock all the way through. Get on board. There will be haircuts for men and boys all day long. It's going to feature a very interesting gentleman who was here with us as well. The 2024 Spirit of the Nation Gala is coming up at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium tomorrow from 6 o'clock. Who will be the most outstanding parish ambassadors? Well, you have to go to find out. The show will start at 6 o'clock, so make sure you check that out. And we had an opportunity to go on the Logos Hope yesterday for the official launch. You'll see more of that here on Morning Barbados. But the world's largest floating book fair is here. So go on down and check that out as well. So lots to see and do all this weekend. Of course, you heard that the NIFGA Gala is on Sunday as well. And tonight, over at the Botanical Gardens, a film screening. So you have lots and lots to do this weekend. Be safe, be careful, and come on back on Monday for all we have to offer. Have a great weekend. On behalf of the entire crew, see you. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming, Kimberly.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning.